This is Out of Control with their song Just Hit Repeat on Tell Craig Your Story podcast.
Dark forces, you keep pulling me towards your eyes. Oh, I've seen it all. Just hit replay. I will be fine. Oh. And then the lights go out, and well, I can feel the heat inside begin to rise. And then the lights go out, and well, I think I should go. I will be fine. I'm in it way too deep. It's not a crime, you know. And then the lights go out, and well, I can feel the heat inside begin to rise. And then the lights go out, and good night. I am just sitting here suspended in time. I never thought that I could cross the line. I'm feeling stupid, baby, that's what I do. I never thought that I could connect with you. Now my computer says I'm in with a chance. I'm feeling naked, but I'm in underpants. I see the screen is flashing right at me. This moment I will commit to memory. Dark forces, they keep pulling me towards your eyes. Oh, I've seen it all. So just hit replay. I will be fine. And then the lights go out, and well, I can feel the heat inside begin to rise. And then the lights go out, and so good night.
Hi guys, Craig here. Welcome to another edition of the podcast, Tell Craig Your Story. Today we'll be talking to Out of Control, a punk band from Newcastle, Australia. And when I come back from China, I always like to keep up to date with the current bands that are in Newcastle and local bands. I asked one of my friends who's always going to shows, and it's like, Craig, you've got to see this band Out of Control. They're carving it up. They're getting a good following here in Newcastle. They've travelled down to Melbourne. They've travelled up to Brisbane. They're doing shows all through Sydney and Newcastle. So these guys are an up-and-coming band. They've just released their first EP, and they have plans for a full-fledged album, hopefully mid-year, if this coronavirus goes away. But before we go, please go to our Facebook page. We are also on all the social medias, Twitter, VK and WeChat, YouTube as well. There is a link in there that tells you where Tell Craig Your Story podcast is streaming. We're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. So yes, there's lots of opportunities to download Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Okay, here we go. This is my conversation with 3/4 of Out of Control. We have Gene, Damo, and Lewis on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hi guys, how you doing?
Excellent.
Thank you for your time today. I really do appreciate it. So, firstly, Out of Control. Band from Newcastle. Like I said to you guys before, I've come back and I've heard some very good things about your band. And you're sort of waving the flag a bit for the Newcastle music scene. Before we sort of start, the huge topic that we're all... And we've also already got like a victim. Already got a victim.
Not confirmed.
False negative.
Not confirmed yet, so let's just keep that very clear. And we also talked about me living in Shanghai too.
Me moving away.
Moving straight away from me. So, coronavirus, like guys, how is this affecting like the band, like the touring and the scheduling and playing, even practicing, you know, how's that all affecting you?
Well, we haven't really practiced since, have we?
Since we got back.
Since we got back.
Yeah.
I know. We're scheduled to do album launch shows and everything in May, and we...
Big question mark over them.
Big question mark.
Yeah, we've got a question mark over a lot of our shows. I think Jay sent out a thing in Hamilton Station Hotel have canned all their gigs. Like up until the week.
Our day.
The week before. Yeah.
Wow.
And we've got a couple in April. Was the Wollongong one, I think. Maybe not.
That's
No, any April shows are gone.
April shows
Yeah.
are done, yeah. So we had a show in April, just west of here, and that's going to be done.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget how to
We'll
play.
see. We can still practice for us.
You know, in your little cones or little pods, you know,
Yeah.
isolation.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what we need to do. We'll just play to no one.
Well, I just saw the Cambridge just said on Facebook that the Cambridge has been shut down, and it's like, of all the venues, you know, come on, the Cambridge, you know. So it's getting pretty serious. Do you know anybody that has had it? I don't.
No, I've been tested for it, and so far it is negative. He wants to be false negative. None. So far it's negative.
Desperate that he's negative.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we don't know anyone directly, but I've got friends overseas who are in isolation, like proper lockdown isolation in the UK. And
They finally did that.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's, you know, like it's interesting. Like everyone's got colds for being locked down, but and they haven't been tested, so they just don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's really interesting.
It's definitely cold season, the lane corona season.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just lucky at the moment that we're in the summertime, and when it comes into the winter, who knows what's going to happen.
If you had flu and corona, that would not be a good combination.
It was really interesting on tour in Melbourne. So we were down on the weekend, and things really hadn't escalated very much in Australia until we were in Melbourne.
Right.
So whilst we were in Melbourne, on the Friday night, there was kind of a bit of a warning about stuff. So people were a bit scared, and then on the Saturday, there was like full blown warning. But it was quite cool to see the Melbourne scene was still very strong.
That's
and
good.
the punk rockers were there to come and do their thing, and but people were actually pretty respectful as well. Like they weren't spitting over everyone, and like you know,
that normally happens at our shows.
The old punk.
Where hard
spit going everywhere.
Keep it punk. Yeah.
So I thought it was that was literally watching Melbourne start to become aware of it.
Right.
And we were there in a very public environment, seeing that stuff starting to happen. And now, I mean, all their venues are closed now, so they're done for a while. Same as I guess here.
Well, let's hope that it goes away very, very quickly. You can get back to gigging, and you can support your new album and
Flatten the curve.
Get it going again. That's right, flatten the curve. So, all right, guys. So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's introduce yourself. Tell us what you play. We'll go from there.
My name's Lewis. I play bass, guitar, and try to sing.
I'm Damo. I also try to sing and play guitar.
Right?
Gene, guitar.
Jim,
Try to play guitar.
and,
Kind of sing.
and we're missing a member at the moment, I see. Only see
He might be in
three.
isolation.
He's
Oh,
isolated.
you know, isolation as well.
He doesn't like us very much.
Damn you.
Jay.
Is it,
Jay
really,
Dog.
is it really the coronavirus, or he just doesn't like you guys?
No,
He's
it's just a slacker.
like,
Jay, I hope you're listening. Hopefully he's recording drums for the last song. He still needs to
Actually,
record
he's
drums.
recording drums. I've
Excellent.
commissioned him for drum recording.
He's hopefully drum recording at home.
you got to keep him busy, mate. Yeah,
Well, those drummers,
yeah, that's
I
right.
don't think they just do.
Yeah, that's right.
Treated me
I used to
keep
drum.
me keen.
All right, there you go. All right, so out of control. So,
So correction, outer control.
Altura control. Altura
It's like
control.
drumstick.
Because I did search for two. That's altar and altura. Yeah, you got to do that. Altura control. Tell us how Altura control came together. Newcastle band, which is great. Another newie band coming out of here. We need to sort of support original music here as much as we can. So yeah, tell us who can tell us how the band started, and you know.
I reckon Lewis should tell the story, and then we'll add our 2 cents in because we've kind of come in from a different perspective. I
It
reckon.
started with a lot of rejection, like any good relationship.
Let's go. Tell the
Like
story.
any good relationship.
Oh, really? I wasn't here from the start.
So I'll get us up to when Lewis joined.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I had just moved back from overseas. I was living in California and playing and touring with a band over there,
Oh, nice.
which was fantastic. And Damo even managed to come over and do one of the tours with us, which was
Great.
awesome. My wife said, "No more Trump, no more guns," so it was time to come home.
That's fair call.
Yeah, kids getting older, so
Ah.
going to school and like, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
worth it. And so Damo and I already had a selection of songs that we were bouncing back and forth between each other. And I said, I've got to start playing. I'm going nuts. It's been 2 months since my last show, and I'm losing it. And poor Donna, my wife, is not coping with me. So I just sent out a lot of messages on Facebook, trawled Newcastle Facebook pages for people that kind of got halfway through punk. If they just had PU in their,
Yeah,
in
right.
their profile or something like that, I would message them if they played drums or bass. And there were a lot of interesting conversations had.
In fact, he stopped at P and ended up getting porn. And then he had to
Oh, you
go back to
said
PU.
I was interested to find out what a porn drummer was like, but
Oh, right. Yeah, that'd be.
we never got around to that. Jay, thankfully, is not.
Maybe that could be like a side project.
He's
or
the most
something like
porn
that,
guy.
And then had some interesting conversations. Some people were super keen messaging, and then when it came back to jamming, they just never replied.
Oh.
Some people just never replied. And then poor Jay said, yes, I'll come jam with you guys. And so we did. And Jay hadn't played fast skate punk rock before.
Right.
So it was a steep learning curve for him, which he, I've got to say, has taken by the balls and just freaking run with it.
Yes.
And he's ripping now. So we started jamming probably 8 or 10 months ago, I guess. It would have been end of March, early April 2019. And we had a bass player who was actually the first guy in the band. I jammed with him in the garage. And then it just became all too much for him.
Okay.
I don't know what was all too much, but
So is it
jamming perhaps.
like all these people that have come and gone? Is it because of their age? Is it work? Or is it family? Is it like, you know?
I think it's a bit of everything for some people. I know the previous bass player just, new family starting up and
Right.
working full time, and the ability to juggle these things can be challenging. Any of us in the band, it's difficult to challenge family and time and band and work.
Yeah.
And then I think you just got to find the right people for the band. People that go, I do want to spend a couple of hours a week jamming and working hard on making it sound good.
With these losers.
Yeah, that's the important thing I have to put up with. And still want to enjoy it, because there's a very, I think in music there's a very fine line between enjoying and having fun, but working hard to produce good music.
That's right.
And for me, Donna, my wife always asks me, why don't you just play in a band, just plays in the garage once a week and just has fun? You don't have to do albums and shows. I'm like, where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
So anyway, that happened, and then I I sent out that original bass player left, and I sent another mass email, and there's this one guy called Lewis, who sounded like he was into all the right music, bands like Melancholy and Cigar, and he said,
Yeah, I said no.
Oh.
I actually saw the ad before you.
no, not the Tinder request.
No, not that.
Swipe left.
No, I actually saw the ad in like some like Newcastle band.
Music.
I think or something. I was like, oh, this looks really good. But at the time, I didn't have the time, so I was like, oh, sorry, man, I've got to let you down. I've got to really control it.
Another band.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I wasn't allowed to leave the house either. This is before the virus. This is when I still had a wife. So
Oh.
you can't go do other stuff. You have to. So I'd say no. Then a couple months later, I came crawling back.
And we were desperate.
That's the only reason I got in. But yeah, thankfully the spot hadn't been filled yet. And this is the type of band I've always wanted to be in. I've been in like grunge bands and straight like hard rock bands and things like that, and they were fun. But this is where my heart really lies. So it was pretty cool stepping in.
And this was 2019, did you say? Yep.
This was May.
Yeah, late May.
Yep. And then you started like jamming. Did you already have songs before that, like you said?
So
or?
Damo and I had heaps of songs.
Right.
I think Damien's got 5 albums worth of music.
Right.
He's emailed me over the last 3 years. And I'm like,
So
I've
I've been out of playing because work had to move, and so I'd had a punk band that I'd started and loved it. The guys in that band, like most great musicians, weren't very motivated, so I couldn't keep the ball rolling as I was travelling and coming back. So, I get musical diarrhea, so I write a lot of music, and so then
diarrhea too.
so poor Gene got
Touring with Damo.
copped an email like he'll cop an email a week with a new song or two.
I wasn't in the country yet.
And I'd kind of it's funny though because I'd been away from punk writing for ages. I'd still written I'd have written punk music all throughout my life, but ever since I started listening to it as a teenager, and skater punk is kind of what I love, and I hadn't ever stopped writing. And if I look back through my computers, I go, oh look, there's a punk song, even though I'd written like glam rock,
Even though it's at 80 BPM on an acoustic guitar.
but I've kind of continued to write it, and I kind of when Gene said he was coming back, I'm like, oh, I'd been actually writing more and more back to my roots, and I was like, oh, okay, well, here you go. So it was quite good timing, I think, that we got to sift through a little bit of my crap.
So were you playing that sort of punk before Out of Control?
California, yeah. So I was playing a band called At Both Ends, and we were ska punk.
Right.
So we had 2 guitars, bass, and a horn section, and
Oh,
a
wow.
drummer. So through the 2 records we did, there's a lot of straight up skate punk in there, but then we started integrating more and more horns as we got a horn section. Our bass player used to just jump between trombone and bass, and then we finally got more horn guys. But yeah, it was really good. That was fun. And so that was all kind of fast melodic stuff. Always been into the fast melodic punk rock. So.
And then you brought these guys into the band, and then so how was the initial process of writing music? Like you were sending emails to each other, and then you come in and jam, or what's the process now, and what's the process? Before when you first started to now, like from your last.
So when we first started, I landed, I unpacked my luggage, and then Damo came over and we started jamming.
Yeah.
And we just started working on vocals and guitars and learning songs straight away, so that we had music, a bass player and a drummer to learn. So we just start jamming and jamming and jamming.
I think so that people could step in. If you've got a back line, whether it's the front line, but it's still a back line ready to go, it makes it much easier for the other folks who are going to come and play with you to just key into that vibe that you've already set up.
I've been to the country 4 days, and we started jamming.
Right.
Yeah, it was like the 21st of December.
You're getting like.
Because I know the street Christmas party was down the road a few days before Chrissy, and I jammed instead.
Right.
I was like a puppy dog ready to go. I was like, let's go.
So with that, do
do you write the music first, or do you write the lyrics first, or do you come in with a guitar riff? And
How do you write songs first?
how does it all come about?
Oh.
Sorry, Lewis, pointing doesn't work on a podcast.
Me personally, or for the
You. Well, for any music.
Or both? Yeah.
I normally just strum up on the guitar and then go la 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 la, and then write words after. The words always sometimes just don't mean anything. They just what sounds good
Like some melodies that are like
mainly melody.
Yeah.
Over guitars.
You've recently just recorded. Is it your first album?
Without a control.
Yes.
Well, we did a 3-track EP.
Okay.
The best of, check it out, Bandcamp. And this is our first full-length album
Right.
coming out.
So let's talk about the recording. Who was the producer? Where did you record it? And
Where didn't we record?
where did you record? Right. And how did you decide on the 3 songs? Like, I always remember when I was in the bands, it was like, okay, we've got a 5-track EP. We're playing 15 songs. How do you know?
Is it the first 3 songs we learned?
It was probably the first 3 songs we learned as well, but we put it to a vote.
Right.
And they became the first 3 songs of the set.
Yeah, we wanted a good mix too. We didn't want songs that sounded similar veins. If you go and listen to the EP, which we get all the profits for.
No, that was on Friday, not anymore.
Oh, damn it. Still do it. No, you
Thank you,
noticed
Bandcamp,
they all...
though. That was amazing, Bandcamp. You guys should be commended.
Bandcamp, yes.
Yes, they gave all profits to bands and took nothing on last Friday.
That's great.
Very cool.
That's so cool.
They all have a markedly different sound. I think that's when I was voting for the songs. That's
Each
what I
song
kept in mind
was
as
a bit
well.
more
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Still out of control sound. Two are fast, one's more rock.
Right.
One's a bit more aggro, one's a bit more shreddy. I think that's a good way of
Yeah.
describing it. Yeah.
But with this album, I think it's just every song we have.
Yeah. Bar the back catalogue.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the back catalogue.
Speaking of which, did I read, and I might have to edit this out, but did I read that you guys did a Blink-182 cover show?
We were going to.
Yes. Well, we were booked in to play in Sydney with a Blink-182 cover band.
We were
Right.
We were
So you're going to play originals.
We
and
were
then-
that
stuff.
song. We would play our original music.
Right.
For the covers band show, and we had the hands on the steering wheel,
Pretty much.
basically. Oh, I had driven,
And then they said it was off.
Yeah.
like literally last minute.
Good at the venue though, they did say, look, we'd like you guys to come out and play another time, because it's a reasonable sort of thing in Sydney.
And new coronavirus was coming.
Come next week!
Psychics.
It'll be fine!
Actually, I interviewed a Shanghai psychic a couple of weeks ago. That was very, very interesting, by the way. Anyway, let's go back to it. It was a phone conversation, so it was sorry.
It's got, so we did end up playing with the Blink-182 cover band. Maybe one day, we get something to aspire to in the future of Out of Control.
So so get back to the recording. Where did you you said you're different?
So
how did it all come about?
I think we recorded it pretty traditionally: drums, bass, guitars. We threw in the overdubs were done
Here in Newcastle.
Cool.
Oh,
Right in here.
We utilise our. Gene and I have a pretty long history of
Buying
recording
equipment.
and buying gear and stuff.
Right.
And we had a good talk about it. Like, how do you want to do it? Should we book a studio time and make us all learn our songs to a point to go in and play them live in studio?
Yeah.
Which I've done for every recording that I've done, apart from demoing. And funnily though, even with most recent studio recordings, I've still used a whole bunch of stuff I've done at home because it sounds better.
Yeah, right.
In a final high-end, like really expensive production.
Yeah.
And you go, well, I did all this stuff at home, but because it sounds better. So I've managed to work out.
I'm talking about audio, your dancing videos.
Oh,
playing production don't count.
My dance videos are exceptional.
Dance
Check it
videos
out.
on TikTok.
I've never heard that.
You will now.
Yeah,
That's good. Kind of learning over the years of how to make things sound better, and then we decided that we would
Stop Gene singing. Sounds better.
sound better.
Stop Gene playing guitar.
Look, I learned how to auto-tune. So we've kind of learned over time to do it, and I think the most interesting part of this whole adventure was to track drums and actually make them sound like reasonable. You know, we've got to come out with a recording that's good.
Yes.
And I don't think any of us wants to come out with something that sounds half-baked. So that's been really...
All in or nothing, right? No?
Yeah, 100%. And so it's been like hours of just learning how to produce and then like using our ears to go, this sounds good, this doesn't sound good. And tinkering with sounds, and it's been a lot of,
So you said you did some recordings in here?
Yeah.
How does that go? Like with like the not being insulated? Is it you still?
Well, it's amazing when you use a Roland electronic kit.
Oh.
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Like live tracking with an
Gotcha.
So
Live tracking and guitars with a Kemper.
Everything goes through it in, right?
So Kempers, this is what happens when you start building up gear. You could use any electric kit, but it would sound horrendous. The triggering would be horrible.
Yeah.
If you start building up half decent gear, you can start triggering properly.
Right.
And using a Kemper for guitars is phenomenal. Like I barely know how to use mine, and it's fantastic. Like amazing guitar sounds. I'd love to say I was a purist before, and in some ways I am. I still have a tube amp sitting over there, but Kempers are fantastic, and there's a reason why all the big acts use Kempers, live and in recording.
But we found that, like, I've definitely found I'm really into the production of the sound quality at the end of it, that the Kemper stuff and the reamping and gives us an ability to pick stuff that sounds great. But we've themed, you have to still, the sound of an album can't be, going from a death metal sound in one song to a polka song, next. You could, but we're trying to produce our first album so everyone hears us and gets what we're going for sound-wise and recognise any song from start to finish and goes, that's out of control. So you actually have to make it all sound unified by guitar sound selection and all that stuff. So it's been really good, and it's amazing how we're able to grab those sounds and go, yep, we love that, and whack it into the recording. So
It's a lot of time just sitting listening.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like how long, hours and hours. Yeah,
it's lots of time, and that's okay though because it's enjoyable.
And
when you find that right sound, you're like, oh, thank God. But it sounds right, especially with like even guitars, just tweaking different settings on one amp, let alone and one cab, let alone everything. But it's interesting. Like it's good.
So the album came out. You guys produced it yourself, or did you have
the EP? Yeah.
Did you have the EP, right? And then how was it sort of distributed? Like what was the process there? What were the ways that you sort of did that? With the sort of social media now being so predominant now, did you do it the old school way, where you're going out and playing 100 gigs, or you social media, and so how does that all work?
I think we're finding, or for me, I'm old school. I love playing in front of people. I think you get the best response out of people that see you live, get into your vibe, and then
back to music, not then dancing.
TikTok.
But see if they're into that style of music, they'll come to a show, listen to you, and then they'll start following your music. I haven't really pushed it out that much yet, because I think we need to finish doing our album. Do a full length album. We've got a couple of film clips that we're going to work on a couple more film clips in the future, so that we do a relatively big push. And we haven't launched on Spotify yet either. I've held us back from doing that. I think it's wise to again do the same thing, come out with one big sweep, and then you can start releasing stuff relatively close together, so people get a grasp of it as it's coming out.
And we want to push the film clips as part of that promotion, particularly current state of the world. You've got to reach people in different ways. And
Definitely,
instead of getting out there and playing shows, we're going to reach them via social media and get the film clips out and get as much of that background work done now.
I think we'll have to do that now. I've noticed bands already are just like getting on YouTube and just playing, and all of a sudden, everybody's in isolation, and then you're getting hundreds of thousands of people logging in. So, how do you translate the album version to a live version? Like, in my opinion, a good band should sound better live. It's all about the live show, and then what you do live, then you put it in a recording. So a live show for Out of Control. Tell us about that. How do you do the set list? Tell us about how you go from the recording, that sound, to a live sound.
Well,
Well,
that's what the answer to start with it, Aaron.
I'm not sure how the set list was constructed, but it's been the same for like 8 months.
I don't
Well, we
know.
were constructing it for the first 6,
Yeah.
I guess, and then we played our show, and it did have some variability initially, but now we've been solid with it.
Yeah.
For the night, now we're changing.
But I think when it comes to recording, I think it's the reverse because we play them all the time here in the rehearsal space, so we know how they sound. I think it's more converting them to the recording.
Yeah.
I think.
Agree.
Yeah.
But you still want to get that live feel, like on the recording?
Yeah. Damo's nodding.
It's important to have our life like a bit gritty,
Yeah.
which is not the easiest thing to attain.
Yes.
And then converting it to live, I think when you're converting a sound to live, you've got to have, yes, the songs, but then there needs to be something a little extra, plus the show, the performance. So if you come to an Out of Control show, if you're standing still, you're going to be very bored.
That's right.
Because you should be dancing up and round with us, because that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. We're
Yes.
going nuts. And if anything, we're a super high energy band, which hopefully comes across every time we play, with Lewis's crazy dance moves, Damo's Tassie two-step, TikTok dancing,
Thank you.
me almost passing out and losing shoes,
Yes.
and that's important. And I think vocal, like in recordings, you hear the instruments, but then you hear the lead vocal, and you don't necessarily hear all the backing vocals. They're there, but you don't necessarily
Yes.
grasp them. Live, I think we push them and we try and get them to grasp them. People go, oh wow, these guys do that. It's
Yes.
not just in live, and that's an important part of our show is having good, clean vocals and harmonies
Right.
that go along with what we're already playing on the instruments.
So do you have a sound guy that you take with on to, or like when you're on the road, or you just have the guy that's there at the bar?
The dream. Well, we kind of have a sound guy because we play at one of our local venues a lot, and they're great. They're really supportive, and
Yes.
he's now Paul Bugger's seen us play more than a handful of times, and so he
Right.
kind of knows what sound we have,
Right.
and he's really good. I can always hear myself, and people out in listening can hear us, and not just lots of drums or lots of guitar. They can hear the vocals.
Yes.
So that's been really good. We haven't had the luck of dragging someone with us, or unluck for them.
It sucks when you go to a gig and the band's just like blasting, and then all of a sudden you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
So
And we're vocals driven, so
Right.
like I think from certainly Gene and I have done like harmony vocals for like years and years. We've kind of just done that, worked on stuff together, whether it's with other people kind of joining in like Lewis now.
yes.
But
So
so
do you think that's changed the sort of style that you got? Or you still sort of
no, I think it's kind of directed in how we
Yeah.
play. Like I mean, I guess we like that style of music that has that melodic vocal with a harmony vocal alongside it.
right.
And it works well for us, so we use that all the time. And then we've got three voices that work together, and so it's really good. Actually, from a recording point of view, it's interesting because we want to take that what we do live and put it down into recording, and I think that like was just saying, kind of retrofitting the recording from live stuff rather than producing something first and then going and trying to play it. We do our live stuff, and we are practicing all the time. Twice a week we're here and rehearsing kind of pretty constantly. So it's
And whose idea was it to come here? Yeah. So had you been here previous bands before, or so like for people that are listening, we're in like a
Tin box.
tin box, yeah. The shed.
yeah.
Yeah. It's,
We are not the only band though.
No,
there are numerous
oh,
bands
yeah.
that realise
The tin shed.
the Tin Shed.
So you're on a schedule, or is there sometimes where you sort of
Oh no, just all around.
Oh,
right.
there are other bands around that use
Right.
this place as
Yeah,
well.
that's
So.
interesting.
wow, belting out the sound here.
And they're cool with it. They've
Yeah.
been really good about it.
Yeah.
So I guess they house us away from the front, so we're not blasting in their
Ah,
ears.
except for the very first time we jammed.
Right.
Oh yes,
Where
So-
we were right. Our drummer Jay starts just warming up before I get here.
Where Where is Jay? Come on, where is Jay? Come on.
Jay! Start
Jay.
jamming, and then all of a sudden you just hear this.
Shut the fuck up!
And Jay's like, what the hell? Turns out it was security. We were right on top of security, their office. So they were there 24/7.
Oh my god.
Right where Jim was like, oh, we jam at night time, maybe when you're trying to rest. So we quickly rectified that because I didn't think security would appreciate us on top of them all the time. Definitely not that young lady. She was very pleasant when we spoke to her.
Alright. So did you stop or you...
Yes, we stopped. I didn't start it.
Alright.
It was all Jay. He was on the pissed her off. Jay! I guess as a drummer that comes.
Maybe Jay's doing the TikTok dance and maybe that's the reason why he's not here. So, all right. So you bring out the EP and then tell everybody how you go about then finding gigs. It's not the most easiest thing especially when you're a original band. I know, of course, as well. If you're going to have an original band, or you have like a DJ, or if you have a covers band, what are the owners going to pick? They're not going to pick our bands, are they?
No.
So, it's very difficult to do it. So I'd like to know how you guys go about booking gigs. I mean, I've seen your website. You're up you're up in Queensland. You've been down to Victoria recently. So how do you do this? Persistence.
That's what it is. Just lots of work.
So it's a bit like rejections, like with the band members.
Rejection is nothing. That's all part of the territory.
So you sort of get immune to it then, don't you? Yeah.
As a male, aren't we all immune to rejection? I don't know.
Yes.
It's literally just lots of persistence, but also talking to other bands in like style bands or at least punk
Yes.
bands. Talking to them and lining up shows with them, and we're lucky because there's some awesome dudes in our local scene here that are super supportive of punk rock and
so tell me some of those bands that you're sort of like.
Yeah, so some of those bands, No Quarter, Hack the Mainframe, Trashed Again, Save the Humans, Kid on a Leash. We haven't played with them yet, but they're super keen. I'm speaking with Trent, who's always down to jam at some point. We just have to line it up.
Yes.
Who else have we played with? Heaps of bands. Sorry if I've forgotten anyone who I've spoken with.
So would you prefer to be playing 4 or 5 bands at the one time at the Cambridge, or do you just want to play your own shows?
No, I think playing with lots of bands.
Yep.
At least similar. Don't necessarily have to all be skate punk, even though those bands are all basically skate punk bands. I think that if we will, don't speak for the band here, but I'll play anything to anyone as long as my music. My days are playing covers for the most part. Wait until the album comes out. That's not what I do this for.
Yes.
But we'll play to anyone, right? You guys would never. I would play to one bar. I'll play to the bar. I'll play to anyone. I just love playing music, and you only need one person in the show to say that was awesome. That was amazing.
That's right. That's it. Yeah.
Even if it is your bass player.
So you're
very enthusiastic.
So who does the booking? Do you all do it, or okay?
Yeah, Jay does a lot of work as well. There you go, Jay.
Jay does do a lot of work.
Jay's actually done all the out of town stuff except Sydney, which I've done.
Right.
And Newcastle, basically. I've got most of Newcastle.
So you're doing the same thing when you go to Sydney and to Melbourne. You're getting with a couple of punk bands as well.
Yeah, and there's some good venues around, which is really cool. There's still some. It's hard work to convince them that they need you to come play there.
Yes.
Especially now coronavirus has just effed everything up. But you say, look, you get bands that they know, and they're solid bands, and that's a part of one of the reasons we got the EP out early is saying, like, this is us, this is our sound.
Yes.
It's a long line.
Check it out and see if you like it.
And the guys listen to like, oh yeah, we like that. That's great. We'll play with you guys, and that's part of it and part of the work. So you have to lay. That was one thing we established as a band first. We're going to lay down the groundwork first.
Yes.
Get some songs down. Get a film clip down, so people can hear and see, and then try and start booking stuff. And now we're just in that next step of getting the album out after that.
I love you guys' commitment. I just see so much of this band.
Is it commitment or just ability to reject rejection?
Accept rejection.
Except,
Embrace it.
yes. But it's just,
Cuddle the rejection.
it's just like
I snuggle rejection. Sorry.
like doing the same, like traveling up to Queensland in the car, like driving down to Melbourne. Like we went to Canberra, we and it was like some people and family are just like, why do you're not getting paid to do it? You got to take time off work. Why don't you just say that? So what do you say to people like that sort of family, obviously family, married? Some of you are married. So what did the other?
No, that's what I love it.
Yeah,
It's awesome. I think the it's what I've always done.
I know I can speak for both Damo's wife and my wife that if we didn't do that, they would kill us very quickly because we would just go insane.
yes.
I think it's
Sort of like a good release, just get out, do something that it really, just
it's our it's part meditation, part release. It's part
it is. Yeah.
just creativity. It's my only creative outlet really.
Mhm.
Music's always been there.
His dancing's really not very good.
No,
Not like mine.
and I think that's for us. It's just we need it.
Yeah.
It's
So-
our drug.
It is.
Cliche as that sounds, it's
No, it's true. It's definitely true. Touring.
We can kill each other. We haven't killed each other yet.
we were fearing for our lives.
Yes.
That's a good. Yeah.
I think it was lucky we got in like a week early. Imagine if we booked it all a week after, like if we were there this weekend.
We wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be there.
So tell us about touring.
It was really smelly.
Speak for yourself, Horse.
Who was the worst person to tour with, like in the band?
Me normally.
No, I actually think it was pretty good. Really,
I was chilled out this time. I am not very good to tour with.
Right. Why is that?
No, I'm
He's
like a hypochondriac. I'm very pedantic and.
And you have the coronavirus as well.
It's a pain. I have the coronavirus, and I'm just a general pain in the ass.
But then he has the luck of having an amazing brother who's known him all of his years.
Yeah.
That just
Tolerant.
But he puts up with me as well. So, and I think Lewis and Jay just kind of go along with our antics and shit and deciding which cafe to go to. If we should even go to a cafe.
3 monkeys.
3 monkeys, by the way. 3 monkeys in Doncaster in Victoria. Fantastic chicken burger. Go there. We promised the lady, we think it was the owner.
Yeah.
We'd give
There's
it a
a
shout.
pod. Yeah.
It was really good. And just down the road, a Lebanese sweets shop. Amazing. Phenomenal. Go there. We didn't play in Doncaster, but we should play in Doncaster.
Yeah.
Maybe just for the burgers.
Yes.
Maybe you could do a deal with them, a couple of
Sponsorship.
burgers or
Live acoustic,
Yeah.
unplugged thing before our nighttime show. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like that. 3 monkeys. We'll be in touch. But yeah, I think it was relatively seamless. I mean, there's always going to be things that happen, but like.
Come on, there's got to be a story, a road story that you can tell me. This is what the podcast is all about.
We got out of our taxi. So Lewis, me and Jay got out of our taxi with a lot of gear. Stood there at the venue in one of our recent shows.
Yeah.
And Damo's sitting there talking with the taxi driver, sorting out a return taxi trip and paying and all. It's taking probably 5 or 6 minutes. And we're sitting there just going, we got to get inside the venue. There's 2 dudes walking up the road with black eyes.
Oh yeah.
Look like they've just been totally smashed.
Wow.
Like, they're whispering, like, Damo,
They're all really
come on.
expensive guitars. And
That's
I was
right.
having a good old chat.
Damo,
with
Oh,
we gotta go
yeah.
inside. And then we walk in the venue and they're in there.
Yeah. In the
So,
front there.
yeah. Yes, and don't ever buy sushi with Damo at 5 p.m.
What do I do at 5 p.m?
Try to buy the sushi at the end of the
Oh
day.
yeah.
Damn it, we should make this. It's like, well, I want to try the sushi. Let's go. It's been here all day. It's like, what?
The sushi was actually crawling off the plate
Yes.
to get out of the
Don't recommend the
sushi place.
cheap raw fish at the end of the day.
So
The
it
reason
is
it's cheap.
Otherwise, I don't think there was a huge amount of like
Didn't you guys have the best doner kebab ever?
craziness.
No, it wasn't the best. It was about 6 out of 10.
I thought it was 10. I actually
When they got back to the bloody hotel,
It was 9.5 out of 10 from McDonagh Kebab.
Yeah.
Donor.
McDonagh Kebab.
Who he let us order and then go get money out and come back. I thought that was really cool. Not many people do that. Yeah.
Alright.
Pretty unexciting.
Plenty more to come, and then when you do your tour after the album, you can come back again and we do it all over again.
Yeah.
So the Newcastle music scene, like I was telling you guys before, say 20 years ago, it was pumping. There was all these different venues that you could play at. Especially at the Cambridge Hotel. That's actually my nickname, by the way, Cambo. That's a long story for another time. Yeah, you could go to the Cambo any night and watch a band. Original band, all different sort of styles. Now, where do I go to find my original music? I don't see it. So, what are your guys' opinion on the Newcastle music scene, and why has it gone from Silverchair, Screaming Jets to
Out of control.
out of control? 20
Something would have pondered for the rest of our lives.
20 years later. So, or even longer.
So-
What do you think? What do you think the reasons are?
I think one of the big reasons in Newcastle is probably the fact that it's become a more popular place to live. So
Right.
noise restrictions and people worrying about drunk people rolling through the streets. It was one of my favourite things to do, was get drunk and roll through the streets of Newcastle. And I think that's actually killed a lot of the scene. I think the Pokies did initially, but then that helped to drive the music away, and then people went, "Oh, it's quiet. We want it quieter. We don't want live music." So there are some venues even down in Cooks Hill that are like the Dell shuts. I don't see any. There used to be bands there all the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gone. That's quite a few years ago that stopped it. So a lot of the venues stopped because of people wanting a quiet neighbourhood to live in, which is a bit sad, really. Like, it sucks out a bit of the life.
We have like one guy playing acoustic, and then you got 4 or 5 guys playing in a rock band.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a big difference in that. There are some venues that have held really strong, and we've been really fortunate to meet those people and them support us as well.
Yes.
It's good to see places like the Cambridge still exist. So they've actually held strong. And
Is the Lust still rocking out down the back here?
The Lust is, They're so there's a few little venues that'll still support live music, but it's and now it is a smaller scene from the ability to play live. I think so.
But saying that, like, you've got so if you're an original band here, you go to Sydney, right? Or you go to Melbourne. There's probably the 2 obvious places. But then you go to Sydney, you don't have a fan base. You want to play there?
Yeah.
Your fan base is in Newcastle. Then people don't want to see you in Sydney because. So, what do you think about that? How are you guys going to sort of approach it?
Well, I think from our point of view, we're looking at it as we're starting to travel now and play to our scene. So there's a great punk scene in Newcastle, and there's actually still a really great live music scene as far as bands who want to play and play really, really well. We're trying to bring that scene down a little bit, but at least the quality. But we're playing with those bands and starting to get ourselves seen, in that circle of music. And so people are coming to see those live shows get to say, "Oh, he's Out of Control. They're here and they're playing, and we like them."
Yes.
And then you have to do it live, I think, in a lot of regards, and then start supplementing it with the music stuff that we're now producing, and we'll start putting it out there. But I think you've got to create some kind of buzz firstly.
Yes.
I think with such a world that has so much overflow of info and access to new things every day, that you as a new band, you can't just go, "Oh, put my stuff out on Facebook and everyone will love it." It doesn't work necessarily like that. You actually have to go out and get people to start creating
Yes.
a vibe around you, so that
Yes.
then produces that want to come and see you, and then people will come and see you in Sydney and doing what we're doing now, which is travelling around and starting to play to small venues and getting a crowd to see us that are into that style.
Yeah.
I think just two things is that is you said playing to people who like that style. It's really important. You've got
Yes.
to target. People
Get that fan
want to
base.
know. They want to listen to what they want to listen to.
Yes.
Unless it's pop stuff on the radio. Punk, skate punk is not on the radio at the moment, and that's
Yeah.
fine. We will need to try and get those people, which is why we play with those bands that like us.
There's not many
similar
members
to
of
us.
my Facebook page, grandmas who like skate punk.
No.
But
But also, I think on the other side of the coin, I think we're really lucky in Newcastle with our venues. We have places like the Hamilton Station, which are
Yes.
super supportive of original music.
That's great.
They have a fun room multiple nights a
Oh,
week.
the
They have
Wicco? Is
There's
it?
the Wicco
Yeah,
as
the
well.
Wicco.
There's the Lass, there's the Cambo, which is a big venue, and that's fine. But we're lucky in Sydney. It's nuts. Like there's
So
not
I've been-
much.
So I've been heard.
It's
Like,
tough.
so a lot of so if you're starting to get a bit of a name for yourself, is Melbourne now the place to be if you want to sort of?
Melbourne seems to have a pretty.
Melbourne's got a great scene.
It
It's
always
got a great
has.
scene.
It always has. Yeah.
Yeah. Really supportive, and the band's very supportive as well.
Yes.
You know, they want us to come down and play. Like they were awesome.
Yeah, there's guys. What the guys in the first night?
Rapid Assault or
Yeah.
Rapid Assault and the Krugers. They were great. Like, I mean, the bands in the second night were great as well. Don't get me wrong, but they were just super supportive, brought people down.
Yeah.
And same with the guys in the bands in the second night. It was awesome. Like really good to see. And people turned up and they jumped around and got into it. Even the sound guy was jumping around on the first night. And that's Melbourne, I guess, and Victoria. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Really cool to see.
So you were talking about the set list before, and your live shows is very energetic. I've seen it as well. Not on TikTok yet, but hopefully in the future.
Coming.
Oh, in the future.
It's gonna have to.
So with your live shows, do you see the same fans, like people coming to watch you, or are you getting newer fans coming in? Like, what are you seeing
I
now?
think everyone for us is newer. We've been a band for 8 months or 9 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are starting to see repeat offenders. The revolving door syndrome, right? They just can't get away. And we're...
Because this is all how this come together. This whole podcast was a friend, Ben Westbury.
Legend.
Yeah, he's a bit of a cult hero in the Newcastle music scene. He, I think last time he said he had nearly 100 live T-shirts of like just
Band
bands.
shirts.
Yeah, band shirts. Yeah. So he loves his music, not just international bands, but local music. Always going out to support. And as I was telling you before, I come back, twice, 2 times, 3 times a year, and always interested in the music scene. And it's like, who's the bands? Who are the new bands coming through? He said, Out of Control. You've got to see this band. You've got to listen to them. And yeah, like I said, he was wearing the hat and the T-shirt, so he was repping a lot.
Was he wearing the undies?
I didn't go that far. Maybe he was. It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Out of control undies.
Well, there you go. That's
a big thing.
Yeah.
Not if I'm wearing them.
Yeah. Let's talk about influences. Always influences. It's a cliche question, but obviously you're into ska, like punk, but I want to know, like, besides, you have your favourites. Okay, tell me your favourites, and then tell me some obscure ones that you wouldn't want to think that. You're playing
so
a punk rock band. And,
when it comes to bass playing in this band, I really like Cigar and Descendants, people that make the bass playing a bit more interesting. But then you obviously stuff like Bad Religion and Millencolin. But
Come on.
I really, 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 really like the Smiths. I listen to them all the time.
Nice.
Like 24/7. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
right.
They're good.
Okay.
And they're probably the least punk band ever. They're a bunch of wusses, and he sings about how sad he is. But yeah.
Are you a Les Claypool fan? Like that sort of type?
Yeah. Like, he's obviously really good, but I don't listen So that kind of thing is a bit too over the top. Not catchy enough. I don't find their songs as melodic and poppy and get stuck in my head. But they're cool. And his clips are really cool too. They're insane. Yeah.
Crazy.
Definitely creative, but yeah, not really my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bob Marley.
Nice.
Bob Marley. Always
Nice. That's very
sits up.
interesting.
He's a little teen kid.
Are you trying to get some of his influences?
Obviously,
A bit of a reggae influence?
every song.
We're the ones bringing it in, right? You have to like.
There's a couple. There's that one that we played when I first rocked up. We haven't played it since.
Ah, yes. That's my Scar influences.
Yeah.
What's that song called? I can't remember. It's on the drive.
Really good one.
Yeah.
It's on the drive. It'll make an appearance one day. Go away.
I love the I love the way Bob Marley wrote his music. It was really catchy, melodic, meaningful. Yeah, and he did it through smoking a lot of weed.
If that gets his creative juices flowing.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever makes you happy.
Whatever you need, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I guess from a punk point of view, I'm a big fan of Strung Out, and I love early Blink 182. Like, I just thought that they were awesome when they, especially when they started out.
Are they still going? Did I hear that the drummer doesn't fly anymore?
Yeah.
After playing.
Makes it very, very difficult to play overseas.
Yeah, so
He goes
last time I
overseas.
saw them in
Submarine.
Australia,
No, I'm
was
just going
the Bad Religion drummer?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Soundwave. Yeah.
That's Soundwave, yeah. I saw them in the States, so I saw Travis there. But
Come on, like that last Soundwave, I think on one stage it was Offspring and Blink-182, the other side was like Slayer, Linkin Park and Metallica.
Yeah,
I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Put it all
Bit
together.
crazy.
It was a great day.
that was
Yeah.
It was a great day. I was
one
very
of-
happy that day.
One of the best lineups.
Best festival.
And I think that, I can't remember the promoter.
Face to Face played that show?
No, not that one.
Was it on before?
All before.
Face to Face, another big influence of ours.
Well, I can't remember that promoter, but I think he's still paying the bands
Yeah.
from that Soundwave. He went out of business, and I think the last two Soundwaves. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that he's still paying those bands because he had 40 or 50 headline bands playing on 3 different stages. That was great for us. But
Wow.
my God, Linkin Park that they still hadn't paid, like still. AJ Madden. Yeah. So
Linkin Park were really good as well. I
was shocked. I was actually surprised. They put on a real good show.
Well, for my Valentine's.
Well, for my Valentine, also a very definitely influenced me a little bit over time with their sound. Yeah, I listen to them a lot.
Are you guys like an early Green Day sort of influence? Yeah.
Like Renee a lot.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't I guess it innately influences our music, but probably not directly. Does that make sense? Like, I've listened to a lot of Green Day.
And you'll
My hidden vice.
yeah.
I want to know. It's like Mariah Carey.
Great Christmas
Tell them your
album.
first album.
First album. Bedroom Eyes. Who's that? Do you remember? Bedroom Eyes.
No.
It's not Kate Sobrano.
You got it.
I didn't own it.
Wow.
So my hidden vice is a band called Bastille.
Oh, yeah.
Brit pop music.
Right.
Which they just nail melodies.
Yeah.
I've seen them twice. Once supporting Green Day actually.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
in Oakland, but they are just a very melody-driven band.
Are they still playing?
Yeah. They just released their third full length recently. Oh, probably about 6 months ago. They great music. They sing that song Pompeii.
Right.
You probably know. But they're really good, and live they're amazing. And they play a kind of, even though they're very poppy, live they play a really rocky set, which is really cool. Like just guitars start rocking out and the drummers going ape. Obviously all the other punk bands, which I could stand 20 minutes just listening to punk bands.
Yeah, right.
They're my hidden secret.
Interesting.
Actually,
So
the
next
influence, before is Lowbrow. Gene introduced him to me when I went to tour
Hey, if you listen to this.
with them 3 years ago. 3 years. Anyway, it would have been 3.5 years ago. And they were great. They were really just like a Cali punk, skater punk band, just really great melodies and great guitar playing and good singing, all that stuff.
Check them out. You should literally just go on. I'll send it on Facebook thing. They're just both guitarists are amazing, like phenomenal. And the way they put their music together. They manage to complicated music, but still really simple. Does that make sense? Because too complicated becomes over one.
That's right.
It's catchy too.
It's catchy, yeah. It's phenomenal. And another local band from Cali was Sick Waiting. They were awesome as well. Really good.
I'm going to speak on Jay's behalf. He likes stuff like Tool and
Carnival.
Carnival.
Massive Carnival fan.
They've got a very similar sound,
Yeah.
Till
So
Carnival.
our next album after this one is going to be a Bastille Bob Marley Smith's tribute album.
With Carnival drumming.
Yeah.
Carnival drumming, yeah. That sounds very, very interesting. So, everybody asks the question, like when you hear interviews, it's like, oh, what's your best gig? I want to know what's your worst gig. And do you have a story about this?
With this band?
Yeah.
Pretty bad gigs.
Well, if you can't think of your worst gig, we'll talk about another band's gig.
Oh, no. I don't know.
He's got no idea. He doesn't want to say it.
Come on,
There's been times when we've been out of our comfort zone and not been able to hear each other, and that was weird. So I guess if you're talking strictly worse, they're not as good as the other ones.
Have you had gigs where you played with pop bands or something like that, and then all of a sudden there's a crowd clash, or?
No, I played with some hardcore bands.
Bands and stuff where there's like a
We're easily the most pop band there.
Yeah, right.
Well, who did we play with? Desparo, those are good guys. Played with them and some other hardcore bands, and
Even in Melbourne as well, they were a bit more on the metal spectrum, but if you kind of squint your ears, you can kind of make a connection. Like,
Yeah, of course.
It's not too far. It's not like Bob Marley. It's not like we're playing with Bob Marley.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, we haven't had any. I don't know. No one's thrown anything at us. Or
You haven't anything thrown yet. That's
You haven't had the chicken wire like out the front, like the Blues
No.
Brothers.
I think the worst shows to come.
yes, we're working to it.
Okay.
I think our problem is we get very excited about every show that we play, so every show is the best show we've ever done from an excitement point of view.
You can only go.
That's
to the
before
last-
we play the show.
So, do you have any like pre like sort of things before you?
Oh,
play?
yeah. Gene does. Room temperature water and no booze.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, right.
Because if you drink, you get that and give a shits. That's G. It's close enough. No, I've tried drinking.
So you drink after, definitely.
Yeah. I enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
I drink urine.
I just can't do it before. And I discovered the whole room temperature thing when I was touring the US. I tried. I love cold water, and I drink it. And vocal cords get really crap. Like this. And I started drinking room temperature water. I'm like, this is amazing.
If you guys ever tour or play or go to Asia, they'll always room temperature or warm water. I hate it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Especially
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Especially in the winter, you go into like a shop and it's just room temperature, and it's like you want to drink a Coke or something like that. Or, no,
Room temperature.
no.
I'm liking it already.
Straight in the fridge.
Sometimes before shows, I tune my guitar as well.
It's his new ritual. He started on this just talk.
Sometimes.
Damo brings 8 guitars to every show.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like it a lot.
Want to make sure.
Back up to the back. Gee, just in case.
Break a string or
I'm a bit equipment phobic.
Yeah.
And his equipment never works anyway.
I always used to have the bass player in my band. He was like the if I was that far out of tune, just a tiny bit.
Oh, really?
Great. Tune for the guitar. Do we have like a Nazi in this band? Is there someone like
I'm probably as close to that, but no, we've got this own Nazi. No, I'm a bit more chilled out now.
He's the opposite of a Nazi, Lewis. He's just super chilled out.
Yeah.
He's just like,
But I think you need that. You need
I think it's good. You
Yeah.
need balance.
I think Lewis has calmed us down.
Yeah, right.
Calmed me down.
It's great, and I think that's partly why Out of Control works, because I think everyone's got a good balance of
Yes.
intensity and drive and push, but still just
And
keeps level.
best gig.
Best.
Is that your
I
last
thought
gig?
our Hammer Station gig.
Yes.
I think that best gig's every gig, right? So
Yes.
every gig you get to play is amazing. So
Yes.
we were stoked. We played to what's our first venue in Melbourne on the Friday night? It was
Mr. Boogie.
Mr. Boogie Man.
Great venue.
Mr. Boogie Man. And it
Jack,
was,
thank you.
and it was great. Like it's not a big venue, and it was a kind of rainy evening and stuff. But it was awesome. There was like a handful of people that came and rocked up and rocked out, and that was great. But I think from our show at the Hammer Station,
Performance, energy, was crowd, 110 people or something.
Yeah, right.
And everyone was getting into it. And
but literally just there for punk rock. Like it was like a really really good vibe, good sound, lots of fun. My amp didn't work.
Oh.
Good thing I bought
that's-
two. There you
that's
go.
right.
I bought two guitar amps that night. I've never even thought of doing that.
Well, there you go. Like, talk about your guys' equipment. Like, you've got it all set up here, but what are you using, and do you endorse it, or
Jay endorses his Resh drums and Chaos.
I just want to get on there and have a bash,
Yeah, but I mean, he gets some really good gear. Like
Yeah.
So he's endorsed and endorsing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it sounds good. That brass snare is
Yes.
sounding, we're getting it, and it's sounding great. It's really good on tour.
A nice little Out of Control there, banner there on that crash there.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly, right.
That would look nice.
Yeah, it would. Good to have a round logo.
I noticed the Mezza Boogie here.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
my
using
cat. I
nice.
do love the Mesa Cat. It's
I'm a fan of the
amazing.
Mezza Boogie as well.
Yeah, I used to have
So why Mezza Boogie? Just
one made in Petaluma, California.
Right.
So it's still California made.
I would like to say it's my fault. From years ago.
Pretty sure you now own the dual rack.
I
that
do own
used
the
to
dual
own.
rack.
Yeah, right.
So
I do
Damo
own the
bought
dual
my
rack.
dual rack, and I used to have a the mini, the mini rectiver that went with that, but it was
Nice.
American voltage, and I couldn't bother converting. So I got rid of that in the States and bought a Kemper. So I use a Kemper mostly, and then I use a 6505 other times,
Nice.
just depending on where, when, and how, and what we're doing with the shows.
And what about your 8 guitars?
Yeah,
You're a collector.
He wishes he was endorsed.
I do wish I was indoors. Sadly, not good
So,
enough.
what, are you sticking with the same guitar, or are you different?
So I discovered
Hey, new guitar.
8 new guitars. No, I discovered Ibanez and Jacksons, and I've I'm kind of floating between the two now. But I've just bought a new Ibanez.
Yeah,
It does sound good.
With Fishman pickups and Fields pickups, and it's amazing. I kind of had rediscovered Maple Necks as well, and
Come on.
I've been trying to go for a black metal-looking guitar, and I haven't got one yet.
His latest purchase is sparkly blue.
Instead, I purchased sparkling blue. They sound amazing. They're great to play. As far as getting around and moving around on the neck on them, they're amazing. So,
Such a nice sound too.
they sound fantastic. I just kind of found well, it's funny because the Super Wizard deck on the Ibanez. Super Wizard deck, exactly. Sounds great. Sounds great, doesn't it? But they're just so nice to play, and it's kind of a similar feel to the Jackson soloist necks, which is so those are my two go-to guitars.
Was Harry Potter a wizard?
He was.
Why don't they just call it the Harry Potter?
The Super Harry
Harry
Potter. And I keep the sound really simple through the Mezza. So I've got the Marshall record and the dual rec, and
Nice.
just make it overdriven.
Nice
and,
sound.
put a fair bit of crunch through it, and I use a compression pedal intermittently, which I actually crank to get a solo sound.
Nice.
And that's me. I don't use anything else.
Excellent. And bass wise.
I'm not
You got the-
sure of the brand of guitar that I play, but it was a second-hand, cheap, crappy second. I think it's like a P-bass copy kind of thing. It feels good.
Sounds good.
First one I looked at. Yeah.
Sounded
great.
amazing through that MPEG fridge the other night.
Yeah, that was so good.
Sometimes they're the best sound. Like the guitars, the cheap ones that you find, and you go, you know, you get it through a nice amp. And
Feels really good and natural too. Like I don't feel out of place.
yeah.
And I play through this again, second-hand Ashdown amp that I bought. And I normally just crank the treble because that's the type of noise that I like.
And it sort of
Playing bass.
blends in with the guitar amps.
Yeah. And I used to play with a pick. Sorry, fingers exclusively, but I play with a pick in this band because it's fun.
You can play fast.
Why is that? Why do you do that?
I think it just
Style
sounds
or-
better. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it just sounds more aggressive instead of being rounder. I'm twiddling my fingers around here. You can't see it, but it sounds rounder when you play and smoother when you play with fingers. I think, but to play with a pick, it's kind of more sharp and aggressive. Which
So when you're playing like punk for like 45 minutes, an hour and a half, you know, how's the old
It
wrist?
bailed on you the other night.
yeah, I don't know. I need to
You had
introduce
wrist
this
failure?
into my pre-gig ritual warming up. My whole wrist, I don't know, seized up. But it doesn't do it here when we practice or some shows. But then, yeah, sometimes my wrist and thumb kind of stop working and I have to play using my shoulder.
He got
Oh, wow.
wrist.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which I don't know, I haven't had that really since I was like 15 in my bedroom.
Fair
Did
call.
you go on tour, did you?
He did, but it was a different kind.
The wrist tool. Yeah. Will you do that in the future? Will you start using the like when you record or?
Maybe not. I think playing with the pick's nice too, as well. I know some people like look down their nose at it and stuff, but I think it just sounds better for this style of music.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
It gives you that bite that you get
Yeah.
on like the Descendants sound that you like and
Yeah.
that we like as well.
And with that sort of style too, I mean, it's sort of like a fast sort of rhythm. So obviously you're not doing so you know, just keeping it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. What does the future hold for Out of Control?
Hopefully not coronavirus.
That's a good start.
Negative result.
Negative result.
Not music.
Yeah, to be confirmed.
Let's be fair.
We get through the coronavirus.
Get through
Okay,
it.
so after the coronavirus,
Album.
Well, it's actually relatively good timing for us because we are in the
That's
throes
right.
of recording and
yes.
like I'm starting the mix and a lot of editing work to do. So, like in some regards, we're kind of
the blessing in
the next
disguise.
month is very focused on getting the last songs recorded
Yes.
and finishing. We've got some bass tracking to do with Lewis and some vocals from you, and Jean's got to do some vocals. And then
in isolation. or-
in isolation, yeah. So so once we get that stuff done, then it'll be editing and mixing down, and then that goes to mastering, and then we have to do album artwork and stuff like that. So there's actually a lot of stuff for us to do.
Film clips as well. Yeah.
And film clips. We've got a couple of clips we want to get done. One of them involves a tire.
So again, you'll do that by yourself. Like you'll do that. That's
Yeah,
great.
we've got
So
friends
cool.
who work in that area, and but it's quite fun doing a lot
Yeah.
of production stuff ourselves.
Damo's become quite a master at.
Master? Oh, thank you, Gene.
Oh, you didn't hear where you're a master at yet.
Oh yeah, sorry. Walking.
Going to
He's really good at walking. He's been working at his skills at video editing, and it's been helpful, very helpful, because we've been able to do it somewhat ourselves.
Right.
Low fi, low budget, but
Saves,
gives people an idea of our music
That's right.
and us.
And lastly, social media. Is there anything you want to plug? I know obviously the coronavirus for the gigs, but like, is there anything you want to plug? Social media. Go
Yeah.
for it.
the YouTube channel. We have like 15 subscribers.
Yes.
We need it. We need
Out of
to
Control YouTube channel. Check it out.
We reply to every comment.
It's OUTER.
Yeah.
Control. CONTR.
2 video clips there.
Uh,
Instagram as well. J-Man.
Facebook. Yeah, likes on Facebook. All Facebook likes, if you can be bothered clicking the like button, would be awesome, because that really helps. Venues are still using that to say, hey, look how big are these guys, and if you like our stupidity on this podcast, you might like our music more and our style, and we like to entertain. So if you can like us on Facebook, that'd be amazing. That'd help us out in massive ways.
Bandcamp as well.
Bandcamp, we have our EP up there. The album will be up there soon. Keep your ears open. And then we will distribute on all major streaming services. once that's out. That'll be looking towards May. Better be done by May.
Hopefully
It'll
everything's
be done. We're close.
Well, if the album launch goes ahead, it better be done by May.
We're getting pretty close now. So
Yeah, we're almost there. We've finally down to the last.
a lot of late nights.
Yes. But you got to get it right. And then, All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I know you guys are all busy with your recordings and all that. But all the best. And when your album comes out, please come back on. We'll promote the album for you.
That'd be amazing. Thank you.
Hopefully, I have a worse show for you.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about your worst show. All right, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Out of Control with their song Separate Ways on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. And just quietly, this riff is killer. Come on.
The people down the hall think we only have one song.